hello guys and gals, lads and lasses, boys and girls, men and women, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for tuning in right here on Hook, Line, and Singer. I'm your host and resident singing fisherman. It was recently brought to my attention that I've never done a catfish video. Granted, I am not a cat fisherman expert, but I know what they like. They love live cut bait. They love chicken livers or even rooster livers if you can find them. That catfish Charlie stuff. The stinkier, the nastier, the better. That's what blue cats like. Flatheads are a little bit different. You kind of go with little small bluegill for them live. They like to catch their fish like a bass, kind of down around the bottom. Channel cat, they kind of eat anything: worms, crickets, bluegill bait, that sort of stuff. But here's my plan today. I'm going to one of my favorite little rivers, and I'm hopefully going to catch a few bluegill, and I'm going to cut them up, and then I'm going to fish some more. But while I do that, I'm going to put that cut bait on some jugs that I brought from home. I made me some jugs a long time ago, and some of them have line, some of them don't. I don't know how. I'm not going to put out 50 jugs. We're just going to put a few out and see if we can get a catfish or two on film. And if I do, I'm going to bring them home and I'm going to fry them, because I love crappie, I love bluegill. But I'm going to tell you what now, catfish is a southern delicacy for a reason. It is absolutely delish. So stick around, let's go see what we might can get on a hook. Hey gang, before I go any further, let me encourage you to please like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Go ahead and do that right now. YouTube tells me that over 70% of my viewers are actually not subscribers, so I would appreciate that so much. Go ahead right now, hit that likes button, that thumbs up button to like this video, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. All right guys, so what are we after today? We're after channel cat, maybe a blue cat. But what we've got to have first to increase our chances of that happening is some bluegill, some live bait. So we're going to try to catch a few of those using worms and or maybe a beetle spin. After we catch a few, we're going to cut them up and we're going to put out some of these jugs right here. All right, so y'all stay tuned and maybe we can catch us some bait. First method we're going to use utilizes a tiny lead sinker, a slip cork, a bead, and a bobber stop. How this works is you tie a bobber stop on your line, and you can adjust that to whatever depth that you prefer it to be, and then this bead and this slip cork slip to that point. So as you can see right there, that would be about a 2.5 foot depth, and when you drop that in, that cork or bobber just slips up to that point and stops right there at that bobber stop. You can buy those or you can make them yourself. Just take either some heavy braid or some thin string of some sort and just tie a simple uni knot onto the line. Our first little guy. Oh, wow. Boy, wouldn't that be a good flathead bait right there. Still got my worm. All right. In the live well. Little guy. More bait. All little guys. Pretty little fish right there. The long ear sunfish. I got that. When you're doing this kind of fishing and you just can't seem to land one of these fish, you just keep getting your bait, odds are it's that right there, which is fine for what I'm doing today. but I could tell just by missing it. If I was fishing for supper, I'd just go on past this spot. Fighting this wind today. Y'all imagine that? Another little long here. Isn't that just the prettiest little fish? See the yellow neon spots all over them, yellow fins. I love this little fish. All right, we got plenty of fish for bait. There's a paddle in this boat somewhere. I'm going to find it, and a knife. We're going to cut some up and put out a jug or two. Stay tuned. So what we got is just a regular quart-sized Gatorade bottle. I've got some reflective tape around it, which is helpful at night. And I've got some 30-pound. Folks, I'll have to apologize to you. I'm having major camera problems today. I've been talking away and showing y'all all kind of good stuff, and the camera wasn't on and it wouldn't turn back on. So I've got one jug out. There it goes. Maybe a cat will discover it. But let me show you, or try to show you one more time, how we rigged that up. It's actually a little eddy right here, and this jug seems to just be kind of going in a big circle of about 70 or 80 feet, so that's probably not that bad of a scenario. Let's try to get another one out. Let me show you how I do it. All right, I've got about 8 or 10 feet of 30-pound mono line out here, and I've got a Katsu 6/0 circle hook. I'm going to snell that hook onto this line. I went 10 wraps just because I could. The more, the merrier. Tighten that down. That is one strong knot right there. I'll snip off this tag in just a second. But on the other end, I'm going to take a regular Gatorade quart-sized bottle. I've had these prepared a while. I've got some reflective tape on there. That's real effective for night fishing. Helps you find your bottles that much easier. And this style of fishing is a lot more productive at night too, by the way. I'm just going to put that on there with a uni knot. Because that'll snug up, it'll slip, see, and snug up on that neck. Oh, 30-pound line broke mighty easy, unless I just don't know my own strength. I doubt that. Let's try that again. Just snug it up this time. Make sure it can't go anywhere. Now I'm going to get my tag ends. This one's a little bit shorter. That's good. That'll give me 2 different lengths, since that first one was a good bit longer than this. See which one is more effective. Got a cross-cut piece of one of those little bluegill. I'm gonna go in the belly right there, come out, make sure your scale is off your hook point. That'll cost you a fish. And that is our bait. All right, Now we're just gonna sit here a little while and keep an eye on these bottles. While I do that, I'm gonna fish a little. Boy, I really attract the coyotes. We've got a fish on. Now we got to see if we can catch it. Oh, he's on the run. Got here. Yeah. Nice blue cat. Nice blue cat. Come here, buddy. Simmer down now. Come here. That's what we're after. That's what we were after, y'all. Beautiful blue cat. Man, will that be some fantastic eating right there. Sorry about the bushes. And the box. Woo! Well, that worked out just like it's supposed to. I maybe ought to have some more jugs out. That was on the first one, which is the longer one. Tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and bait this hook up again. Let's get another. I actually put a little bluegill hole on the hook this time. Maybe we can get a big bass on there or a big flathead. Wouldn't that be awesome? Y'all stay tuned. I bet it's route. There's a fish on. Hang on, let's see if we can get him. It's a bass. Got him. Wow. gotta do what you got to do. And to rescue that fish, I had to get down to my undies and get in the water a little bit. I couldn't have rescued it any other way. I couldn't reach it. I couldn't even, it wouldn't have even done any good to cut the line because the fish still wouldn't have been free. But anyway, it was a success. And we got the fish. He's kind of beat up, so I'm going to keep him and I'm going to eat him. And it was a beautiful spotted bass, 3-4 pound bass. And I say, well worth the fight. It took me about 20 minutes to get that fish in the boat, and well worth it. I think I'll end the video right there. Y'all, I got the hook out of that fish's mouth. Yeah, he's cut up a little bit from wrestling in those lines, but look at that gut on her. I believe that's a female spawning bass, so I'm gonna see if she won't make it. Just trying to revive her. I want her to bite me. Don't bite me, girl. Ah, she just bit me. She gave me her first little bite. Come on, girl. All right. I'll let you go. What you gonna do? I see your fins. Ah, she's gone. She's fine, folks. Go do your job, Mama. Make lots of babies for me to come catch. Oh, there's another nice little bluegill. I was really done fishing. I'm just fishing for fun now. Well, I'm always fishing for fun, but you know what I mean. Thanks, little girl. I'm gonna release these other bluegill, but y'all look what a catfish. Big old blue cat. Gonna be some good nuggets. Wow, 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 what a fun trip. Woo! The highlight of it, of course, would be having to go in the river to land big spotted bass. That was unexpected. Caught that bass on a little bluegill, live bluegill about that long. I was going for a yellow cat. Of course, you always know that bass is a possibility. And we had just caught that big blue cat. I had gotten floated down the river a little bit, and I looked up and there went the other bottle. So it got wrapped and all before I could get to it. And there wasn't any getting it undone. And I couldn't simply just cut the line because the fish would have still been wrapped around that limb that it was wrapped on. But it worked out. We had fun. Got to show you a little bit about jug fishing, just on a small scale basis. Could have spent a lot more time and put out a lot more jugs and caught more fish, but that's the basics of it. I sure appreciate you guys tuning in. One more reminder, please click that thumbs up to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I'd love to hear from you as well, but I greatly appreciate you watching. Well, hey guys and gals, I wanted to do a quick little devotion today, and I had a total different scripture in mind when I pulled out of this, one of my favorite fishing locations, and saw this building. That's the West Alabama Women's Center. I read a statistic one time that said there were more babies aborted in Tuscaloosa County than there were born alive. I can't imagine that. Thank God this place is closed down. The last doctor, there was video of someone leaving this clinic, at least on one occasion, in severe distress, and they were immediately carried to DCH hospital. And I know the last one passed away, and I think there were more. So there's a big investigation going on her, and but in the meantime, it has closed this clinic down. Thank God. Before her, there was a doctor here who murdered over 80,000 babies. I just had the chill bumps run all up and down my leg just thinking about the horrors that have gone on in this building. I said 3 or 4 years ago when Donald Trump was in office, and I by no stretch agreed with everything he did, everything he said, the way he said it, the language he used. But I said 3 or 4 years ago that I believe that God placed him in office for one reason. That was to change the balance of the United States Supreme Court and to place all these hundreds of federal judges that he placed into power. And I said 3 or 4 years ago that I believed that I would see in my lifetime Roe versus Wade be overturned. And there was a big leak recently out of the Supreme Court. I'm sure one of the liberal justices on there leaked it to the media, that they are actually going to vote to do just that. Now, will that end abortion across America? No, at least not in the short term, but it will absolutely make it harder. It will put the power back into the hands of the states where it belongs. If you live in a conservative state like Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, you name it, odds are that people will not be able to murder babies where you live, and that is a blessing. Will you please join me in praying that that comes to pass? What does Jesus say about children? In Matthew 19 and 14, it says, "But Jesus said, Suffer little children, and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." Now, how can we suffer them not to come unto Jesus if we never let them to be born? It also says in the Bible somewhere that it's better than have a millstone placed around your neck and be cast into the sea than to harm one of God's children. And of course that means all of God's children, but especially God's defenseless babies. I pray that this place never opens again in the name of Jesus. I pray that. I want you to see what's next door to it. That is called Choices. It's a pregnancy clinic. Free pregnancy tests, sonograms. That's a true woman's clinic there. This is a baby murdering clinic ran by Planned Parenthood. What an oxymoron. The Women's Center. It has nothing to do with women's rights. Let me tell you, it makes no difference if you're male or female. Never is it within God's plan for a baby to be aborted. A baby is not a choice. A baby is not a part of a woman's body. A baby is an undeveloped, separate human being formed in its mother's womb by God. And when that is ended, that is murder. Pray with me that this barbarous, evil practice ends all across our nation and all across our world. There's a lot of blood on the hands of somebody that's been shed in that building. A lot of babies, tens and tens of thousands, possibly over 100,000 that were murdered in that building right there. I believe they're assembled right at this moment at the feet of Jesus Christ, just waiting for their deaths to be avenged, waiting on God's almighty plan to all come together. That's going to do it for this episode, guys and gals. I appreciate you as always for tuning in. It was a gorgeous day. We had a lot of fun out there. I had a few firsts in this video. It was my first catfishing oriented video, and it was the first time I've ever stripped down and gone in the river to land a bass. Got to do what you got to do. I've got some scars to show for that little battle. That's another first. I have carpet burns on my knees from the boat. Hey, no pain, no gain. We got her done. But it was a fun day. Gorgeous weather. It's summertime out here, y'all. I love it. My truck says 89 here, but I think it hit 90 today. And we just had a great time and a great little trip, short trip, but it was a whole lot of fun. I appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. May the good Lord bless you. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.